Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about a very, very important topic. It's called social inclusion. Now, those words might sound strange, like maybe you've never heard social inclusion before, but it's not that complicated, actually. But it's difficult once we talk about what those words mean, it's difficult to try and use them in our life. So social inclusion, so social means groups of people. So, it could be your family, your friends, the people in your city. That's our society. That's what social means. And inclusion means bringing people in. So that letting everybody be together, right? Not pushing people away. So basically, we're talking about how people are different, and how can we do the best job that we can to make everybody happy, to keep everybody involved and not make anybody feel bad about themselves. So, okay. The most important word when you're learning about social inclusion and making people happy and understanding their feelings is this word here, empathy. Empathy is a very interesting idea. It means thinking about other people's feelings, right? And so let's put those here. So I've got thinking, all right, thinking about other people's feelings. So empathy means thinking about other people's feelings. Right now, maybe you're at your house and there's a plate of cookies on your table, but the cookies are all gone. There's only one cookie left. Right now, of course, maybe you want to eat that cookie. So you could just reach over and grab that cookie off the table and eat it really quickly. But if you are using empathy, what you should be doing is considering what would other people think? How would that affect other people? So if you're there and you are, sitting at dinner with your mom and you have one cookie on the table, of course, if you eat it, maybe your mom would feel like a little bit sad because, she didn't get any of that cookie, right? So if you are thinking about how other people are going to act, then before you eat that cookie, maybe you'll think to yourself, I want to eat this cookie, but I think that if I eat this whole cookie myself, somebody else's feelings might get hurt. So maybe what I will do is ask, does anybody else want this cookie? Or maybe I can share it. Mom, let's split this cookie in half and you can have half and I can have half. So that means before you do something, thinking about how it will affect other people. So now, okay, this is interesting because usually, your teachers at Learning Tree are really good at teaching you all different kinds of things. We can teach you about math and we can teach you about space and plants and animals and fruits and vegetables. But scientists learned that actually we can't really teach people about empathy. We can tell you what it means, right? I can tell you what empathy means, thinking about other people's feelings, but I can't make you be more empathetic. I can't make you care more about other people. But that's okay because there are some things that you can do to help yourself grow and to help yourself become more empathetic and learn to think more carefully about other people. So, okay. But that's the important thing is you have to be in charge of the learning for this one. Not just your teacher. You have to do it. So, okay. Now, let's talk about some of the people in our community or in our society who, might have some problems, who we need to be extra careful. We need to try our best to make sure that we include them inside our community and talk about some of the things that might be difficult for them, right? And then I'll explain to you how that will help you, understand their feelings. So, okay, here's my first picture. All right, this really happy girl, you'll notice that she has something wrong here. She is missing one of her hands. So she had a hand. She used to have two. When she was born, she had two hands, but she had some problems with her hands. And the doctors, in order to save her life, the doctors had to take off one of her hands to keep her alive, right? Now, that's a very interesting problem, right? And you can see, even though she's lost one of her hands, look at her face. She's still really happy. She's still a human being. She still wants the same things that we want, right? I want to be happy. You want to be happy. She wants to be happy. I want to eat good food. You want to eat good food. She wants to eat good food. She still wants the same things as us, but she is different now than the other people in the world, right? So we need to make sure that in our community, we're including her, right? So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. All right. Here's the next person I want to show you. This person, just like that girl, this person is missing one of their legs, right? But the interesting thing here is you can see this person is still, even though they're missing one of their legs, they're still excited to go out and exercise. Here they are at the pool. So they're going and swimming laps in the pool, right? So even though life is difficult, even though life is challenging for them, missing their leg, they still want the same things we want. Everybody wants the same things, right? Everybody needs to stay healthy, right? And everybody wants to, go out and do the things that they enjoy, like swimming. So, okay, what happens if you lost a hand or a leg? How can society help include you back? Well, some of the ways is by giving people things called prosthetics. Prosthetics means basically like a new leg or a new arm. So here you can see, here is a doctor who's helping this person who had lost the bottom of their leg. And the doctor's helping them put on this new prosthetic leg. So the prosthetic is like a new foot. And then that person can get up and learn how to walk around, right? It has a little bottom so they can put the shoe on it. And then eventually that person will learn how to walk normally, right? With that. And so by having that prosthetic, it's easier for them to be included in our society, right? It's easier for them to get to the train station. If they have that prosthetic foot, now they can ride bikes with their friends, right? Things can be included in. So the doctors that are helping them are helping include them in our society, right? Giving them the tools that they can use to be, included in our society. That's one type of prosthetic. Here's another really cool type of prosthetic. This is a type of prosthetic foot for exercising, for running really, really fast. And you'll notice it's really cool. It doesn't even look like a real foot. It kind of looks like this sort of J shape. And when the person is running, it can kind of bounce on the ground. And, if you watch, the Special Olympics, which are an Olympics that happens after the first Olympics, then there's a second Olympics called the Special Olympics. And that's for athletes like runners or swimmers who, they have something that is, some challenge in their life, like maybe they were missing a leg, and things like this that can help them compete and, so they can also do the things that they like, running and trying to be the best that they can be. So things like these prosthetics help include people in our society. All right. We have other tools that we can use too. So some people are blind, which means that they can't see, right? Their eyes don't work, or maybe their eyes only work a little bit. And so it could be dangerous to move around the street, right? You could walk into the road, right? Where there's cars. You would have a hard time knowing which direction to go in. But here are some tools that blind people can use. So you can see, first of all, this stick right here. This stick is for tapping around on the ground and making sure you can feel, for curbs or a sidewalk. So you're going straight, or make sure if you're walking that there's not a wall in front of you. And this dog is a specially trained kind of dog called a seeing eye dog. And that dog acts as sort of a leader for the blind person to help them get around the city. So the dog can see where is safe and where is dangerous, and, helping that person get around. And those dogs are very well trained. They'll never run away. Even if they see like a squirrel, or if you had a bone, that dog is so well trained to help this person. That way they can live a very normal life. They can still go to work. They can take the train. They can do all the things that anybody can do. So these tools help include people in society. All right. So here's an interesting picture. This is a bathroom, a toilet, right? And I want to see if you can see some things that would help include people, right? So remember, not everybody can walk with 2 feet, right? Not everybody can see. So if you look at this bathroom, can you see something that would help somebody who was maybe missing a limb or needed help with something? Can you see something in here that would help them? All right. Well, I see a wheelchair over here. So I like everything is nice and flat. So if you had a wheelchair, you could easily roll your wheelchair around if you needed a wheelchair to get around. Also, if you look here, this wheelchair is in front of a shower. So this bathroom is a toilet, but it's also a shower. So even if somebody cannot get up by themselves, they can still come over and wheel their wheelchair in here and take a shower. That's really helpful. How about here, next to this toilet, do you see this green rail? That green rail, you might not have one of those in your house, but that green rail can help people who maybe they have a difficult time walking or they have a difficult time balancing. This rail can help them. They can hold onto that rail while they sit down on the toilet. That's all really, really important, right? To help anybody use this room. No matter what problems you may have or what challenges you may have, anybody can come in and use this with very little help. All right, here's one more picture of a place that has been trying to think, how can we think about everybody? How can we include everybody? So can you see something? If you look at this picture, can you see something that would help include people? So over here, I see some stairs, so you might be able to walk up these stairs. But if you were in a wheelchair, could you roll your wheelchair up those stairs? Probably not, right? That would be too bumpy. So you can see what they've built here is a ramp. It's a ramp. The ramp lets people roll their wheelchair, or if they have a hard time walking, right? They can walk more easily up this ramp than up the stairs. And there's nice rails here that they can hold on to make sure that they're safe, right? It has a nice bumpy surface so that way it's not too slippery even if it gets wet. So this is another way that we can help include everybody, right? Anybody who wants to come to this building, now it's easier for them. Even if you can't go up the stairs, you can still get up this ramp. So, okay. So before I said that I can't teach you how to feel more empathy. And I think that's true. Like I said, some scientists did some research and they learned that it's very difficult to teach people empathy. But there are a few things that you can do that will help you think about other people's feelings. But actually, it's also kind of fun and interesting for you too. So the scientists said that if you want to learn how to think about other people, you need to go out and talk to those people. Okay? You need to be able to go out and ask them questions, right? You can't just learn about them from far away, right? You have to go and talk to them. If you wanted to learn about people from another country, if you wanted to learn about, people from Mexico, it's not enough. You can't just read about those people in a book. You need to go to Mexico and talk to those people. Because when you do that, you will realize that even though maybe they look different, even though they maybe wear different clothes than you, or maybe they eat different food, that actually you guys are the same, right? You have the same things that you need, the same things that you want. It just looks different. And by talking to people, by going out and talking to different types of people, you can learn more about those people. So that's the one thing you can do. Go out and talk to new people. But the other thing is you can there's an expression, put yourself in their shoes. That means you can act kind of like what their life is like, and you will understand the hard parts about their life, and the easy parts and the difficult parts. And by doing that, by experiencing those things, then you will be able to understand their life more, and that will make you more caring about their challenges and their problems. So there's a couple things we can do. So I brought a couple things here to show you about, let's pretend that maybe I want to learn to be more empathetic, to care more about what other people think, right? And so I'm going to pretend that I'm missing one of my hands, okay? So you can do this at home, right? All you have to do is not use one of your hands. Okay, so you can do an experiment. You could take a whole shower using only one hand, right? Because for that picture of the girl, right? When she's taking a shower, she only has one hand she can use. When she's, if she's building a set out of Legos, she only has one hand that she can use, right? So you can experience that too. Just make a rule for yourself. Okay, for this activity, I'm only going to use one hand. So here is an example. I'm going to show you something that I think might be a little bit difficult, right? If you're using a nail clipper and you have two hands, of course it's very easy. I can open up my nail clipper, I can come over, I can pinch down with this hand, and I can move this hand wherever it needs to go. It's very easy if you have two hands. This tool was definitely designed for somebody who has two hands, right? But look how much harder it would be if I only had one hand. So I'm going to put it down on the table now, and now I'm going to pretend that I only have one hand, okay? So I'm going to pretend I have an arm, but no hand. So that means I can't use these fingers at all, okay? I can use this hand, but not this hand. All right, so here we go. I'm going to try and cut a nail using just one hand. So first things first, I have to open this up. Okay, it's a little bit trickier already, but okay, that was all right. I can do it, but it's a little bit trickier. Okay, next I need to put my fingernail inside it, but it's hard because it kind of moves around a little bit. So maybe I need to hold my arm here. Okay, maybe I can do that. And then maybe I can push down with my elbow. Oh, I got it. There we go. Now, can I do that? Of course I can. Can I learn how to do that? Of course I can. Is it easier? Definitely not. It would be much slower to trim all of my nails like this, right? That was just one little cut, right? But if I needed to go all around every single one of my nails, it would take a really long time. And by experiencing that, I can think about that girl's feelings and I can say, wow, that's really difficult. And she does it whenever she needs to. I'm really proud of her ability to do that. And that makes me realize that, she has certain challenges that maybe I didn't think about before. And when I realize that, when I have those challenges for myself, it makes me care more about other people around me. So that's one example, something you could try. Here's another one, right? If I only had one hand, how about cutting paper? Okay, so scissors are easy enough to use with one hand, right? But when we're cutting, usually we're holding a piece of paper with one hand and then we cut around. So if I wanted to cut out like a heart, for example, I could cut around like this. And then with two hands, it's not that hard because I can use one hand to control the paper and one hand to open and close the scissors, right? But what if I wanted to cut out a heart using only one hand? What if I only had one hand? That would be really, really difficult, right? If I had a piece of paper, I've already used two hands, but if I had a piece of paper here, can I cut out a heart? Well, let's see. I haven't tried it. Let's try. So if I used my elbow to hold this paper, I can carefully cut around. I'm going to try and cut down. I guess that's going to be the bottom of my heart. This is already trickier, definitely. Try and come up here. Okay. Oh, it's very tricky to get around this way. Very tricky. Oh, I did it. But it's a little bit funky shaped, right? A little bit difficult. And it was definitely slower, right? So by understanding that, I can start to think about how people, working on crafts, everybody likes making projects. Everybody likes working on crafts. But you can think about how for some people that project might take a lot longer. And that can help you be more caring towards them, right? Another thing that you could do, this is a really fun one, but you definitely need, your mom or your dad's help, right? To make sure that you're safe. Another thing that you might be able to do is, we talked about somebody who's blind before, right? Somebody whose eyes don't work. You could do some experiments at your house by putting on a mask. So here's just a normal, simple sort of blindfold. You could put on a mask and you could try to go from, maybe your bed to the toilet, right? And get out of your bed, walk across the room, maybe walk down the hall, find your bathroom, open the door, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, try and find the soap, all while wearing a mask, right? Come out, dry off your hands, close the door, try and go back to your room. That experience will be really, really difficult, I think, because, you've never done that before, right? And it might even feel really scary, but you're inside your own house, right? Maybe with your mom watching you to make sure that you're safe, right? Definitely don't wear a blindfold around the stairs or something like that, and make sure that you've got your mom or your dad there with you to watch you, to keep you from bumping into any walls. But you're safe inside your house. Think about how scary it would be if you were blind and you had to go walk around the train station, right? It would be so different, right? And so that's why, just like with that bathroom and just like with that ramp, we need to care about other people so that way we can help create a community that includes everybody, right? No matter what's different about them, because it could be anything, it could be physical disabilities like missing an arm or missing a leg or blind. It could be the color of somebody's skin, right? Or their height, how tall or how short they are. Thinking about all of those things is really important. And the more that we care, the more that we can do a good job of those things. So let's look one more time at this word because I think it's so important. It's called empathy. And remember, empathy means thinking about other people's feelings. So let's put those back together one more time. Thinking about other people's feelings. This is what empathy means. So let's say that word together. Empathy. Okay, good. And now let's say that sentence one more time. Empathy means thinking about other people's feelings, right? Before you do something, before you act, before you build something, right? Before you build a house, think about the other people who might be coming to that house or that shop, right? So empathy helps us make the world a better place by making sure that we include as many people as we can. Because if we can care about them, if we can feel what their feelings might be like, how they would feel in this situation, we can do a better job of including them in everything. So, all right. Good job. I hope you have a lot of fun trying out some new things. Try using just one hand at home. Try taking a shower with your eyes closed. All of those things can help you understand the difficulties that some people go through, and that will give you more empathy. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.